This broadcast is brought to you by Colby Brooks with Century 21 Right Pace Real Estate and buyfrombrooks.com. Let Colby Brooks handle all of your real estate needs. The latest headlines now in relation to COVID-19 in Arkansas from NEA report, with over 200 cases confirmed today, according to the Arkansas Department of Health, but the first deaths being confirmed as well. 2 deaths now in Arkansas from COVID-19. However, with that news in mind, the governor is still not expected to impose a statewide curfew. He talked about that today, and we'll tell you what was said, plus more headlines next on NEA Report.
Now, Stan Morris reporting.
Thanks for joining us today on NEA Report. This is Stan Morris reporting on Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, as we're looking at confirmed cases of coronavirus in Arkansas going up to 218 as of today. Those numbers have increased a couple of times today, and they may increase some more tonight and into tomorrow as well before we come back to you live. But as of this hour, that's the number. With negative tests holding steady at 947, that number's not changed in the past several updates. However, we've learned of 2 deaths in Arkansas that are attributed to COVID-19. According to the Arkansas Department of Health, 2 people have passed away from this virus. Those numbers both announced today. We know the first gentleman, I believe, was a man in his 90s that passed away this morning, so a very tragic situation for them. But for anybody that may be affected by this, you're in our thoughts, our condolences are with you, and of course our hopes are with you too, as we're trying to spread good information that keeps more people safe going forward. Today, the governor issued an executive order that perhaps could do that as well, or help do that. He's suspending requirements for telemedicine for face-to-face exams for new patients. Basically, if you were a new patient to do telemedicine, you had to have met with them in person. Now you don't. At least that's the summary of it, according to the governor's Facebook page. A doctor can now establish a new patient over the phone. Some good news there. Another order that came yesterday but is going to into effect tomorrow, the governor and health officials announcing a directive to close by noon on Wednesday for barbershops, hair salons, tattoo parlors, nail salons, beauty schools. You get the idea in that list. That's been sent out today. In fact, Jonesboro Police Department going around to businesses that would fall in those categories and making sure they're aware of that. The deadline to close is noon on Wednesday. COVID in Northeast Arkansas right now, as of this moment, Johns Hopkins University reports 4 cases in Craighead County, 1 in Lawrence County, 1 case in Greene County. 3 cases reported in Poinsett County, 3 cases reported in Independence County, while 1 case is reported in Cross County, that coming late yesterday. As we mentioned late yesterday, the Cross County report, but also 1 case in Woodruff County and 1 in White County too. The national numbers as of this hour from Johns Hopkins University, 51,542 infected, and in America, 674 Americans have died from COVID-19. Globally, the number has topped 400,000, 414,277 infected, 18,577 dead, 107,806 recovered. Good news right there as the recovery numbers go up, but bad news as the infection continues to rise across the globe too. Now, we mentioned those national numbers, and we showed you yesterday where the United States compared to the number 2 and number 1 countries as far as infection rates go. We'll show you updated numbers now, comparing again. China's stayed almost the same. They had this thing almost contained, at least based on the numbers we're getting from China, and that could be taken with a grain of salt. We don't know. The Communist Party, not exactly big on freedom of the press over there. In fact, they'd probably kill me just because they heard me say this, at least evict me from the country. Thankfully, I'll never be there. But 81,591 in China reportedly infected today with 3,281 deaths. That barely increasing on either number. Just a few more deaths and a few more infections. But in Italy, the numbers continue to go up. 69,176 with 6,820 dead. That's almost an increase of 800 deaths since yesterday in Italy. Meanwhile, in the United States, we are sitting on a number of 51,542. Of course, that number was in the 40 range yesterday. 674 dead, representing about 100 more from where we were at yesterday. The mortality rate in the United States is much lower than it is in Italy or in other countries too. But it's also much earlier, so we may be speaking too soon if we're trying to make a judgment on where this thing is at versus where it's going to go. One thing we know that is not going to take place, at least as of today, and perhaps tomorrow, unless the governor changes his mind, still no plans for a shelter-in-place order. The governor seems to be resistant to this idea. Others in the state are calling for it. A lot of people in chat, as a matter of fact, I've watched a lot of you in chat call for it. Other states have gone with this option, not necessarily states that are around ours, so to speak, but that has been a choice for some states. Meanwhile, the president today saying he hopes business is back to normal by Easter. Doctors are totally disagreeing with that assessment or that even hopefulness or wish, but we'll see what happens, right? It's a lot of decisions that still have to be made by, even if the president, for example, says, okay, we don't have to do social distancing anymore, a lot of the decisions are still going to go back to the governors of the states, and we'll see what they decide to do. As of right now, though, the confirmed cases of Arkansas stands at 218, 947 negative test results, 2 deaths in Arkansas. The highest concentration near northeast Arkansas of cases is in Cleburne County. Over by Greer's Ferry Lake, you're looking at 32 confirmed cases, and according to the Johns Hopkins University website, one of the deaths that took place was also from Cleburne County. So it's a situation there where some reports have indicated that a church meeting had took place. Gatherers got together and it spread like wildfire basically at this one church meeting, with the congregation now having many different people infected. That reiterates the importance and the necessity of social distancing right now. One bad decision that may have been before the nationwide orders even took place, I don't know. One bad decision or one unfortunate choice could lead to dozens or more being infected, right? And there has been one reported death in Cleburne County, according to Johns Hopkins University. So the numbers right now continue to go up. It's no mystery, but it shouldn't be a mystery to any of you to see a news agency reporting the increase in those numbers. Of course, the idea about being informed is that you know the information that is up to date, not the information that came out 4 or 6 hours ago, or 24 hours ago for that matter. And that does mean that we're still going to update you on the numbers. There's still going to be some people that have a difficulty with that. But the bottom line is that the coronavirus is in the United States. It is in Arkansas. It is in northeast Arkansas. And also, at the same time, all of us are being ordered or suggested strongly to stay in our homes, right? So this is important news to be talking about. There's no vaccine for this. There's very few, if any, medical treatments for this right now. Most of those are experimental and are still being developed. So when you talk about, yes, there are definite cases of the flu, and the flu is definitely killing people. There's also vaccines for that. There's also a much lower mortality rate for the elderly. And in addition to all of that, there's also treatments for it too. There's so many unknowns with this that what isn't known could be something we learn later that's very bad. Maybe not, right? Maybe it's good news from here on out, and we would certainly like that. But the number of infected in the United States rose from the 40s to the 50s in the 1,000 range today. If we continue this track, we're going to overtake Italy. And I hesitate to say, but we could even overtake China in the number of infected if this does not, if it doesn't get tempered. Because the United States is seeing a number of infections, and we're the fastest growing country right now in the numbers of those infected. China barely growing at all, Italy growing quite a bit, but the United States growing significantly. New York, by the way, having a very bad day. They are now up to 25,665 confirmed cases, with 210 deaths reported as of right now. By and large, the most affected state, but the Big Apple is where a lot of people go. It's a city for immigrants, and that's kind of why the Statue of Liberty is there, right? So you have people from all over the globe traveling in there, and people from there traveling all over the globe too. So it would, make sense with it being kind of a hub for international travel. But as of right now, take a look at these numbers, because that's where the United States sits. We're number 3 in the world right now for confirmed cases, and that number's going up. It remains to be seen whether we decide to take additional action, or whether we stay the course, or whether we let things lighten up. There's a lot of different choices that are being made by our leaders right now, but whatever choices they decide to make, they need to make those choices with information, and with appropriate and factual information, and that's what we're trying to bring to you every day here on the NEA Report. Thanks for joining us today on NEA Report. We appreciate you for liking, for sharing, subscribing, or following the page if you have. We appreciate all of that stuff because it really does mean a lot. If you think maybe what we did was worth your time and maybe even worth your while, we would appreciate a like or a share or even a subscribe from you too. If you become a supporter of NEA Report, you can click Become a Supporter on Facebook, and you can not only have the great feeling of supporting local news, but we give you exclusive content that others don't get as well. An exclusive show, at least one exclusive show every single week with a special local celebrity guest, plus other stuff that's happening across NEA too that you don't find out anywhere else. Stan Morris reporting in Jonesboro. Hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all staying healthy, both physically and mentally. Don't forget your mental health during this time. It's more important than ever, and a lot of us are frustrated and stir crazy, but we'll get through this together. Empathy, love, kindness, and understanding are never the wrong answer. Frustration? Maybe a little bit. We'll see. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.